2, 1.
Hey, we're back. Welcome to another episode of Late Nights in Islos, featuring
Rene, DJ Weeks host, Quetzal, your host every week, and tonight we have the honor of hosting Gabby of the Crusty Don Holes as a handle if you want to look her up right now. YouTube, thanks for watching again. Steady every week as we promise. Great content straight off East LA, latenightsinistlos.com. That takes you to our Facebook. Thanks again for watching. We really appreciate your support. Gabby, thanks for being here with us. And today we decided to play a double gambit featuring double Philip J. Hurd, who's here again.
Hello, everybody.
Thanks for being here again. And you already acquainted yourselves a little bit.
We're getting married soon.
Love
wins.
They were
In
laughing
the
up a
boutique.
storm. It's been such a great setting up today, honestly.
It was so easy. Yeah, you guys do a great job.
Thanks.
It's
Well,
awesome.
you know, we have again. We're
Great crew. Shout out to the crew.
We're
yeah.
blessed.
Shout out to the crew. We have Vinyl Frontier crew, Rene, DJ Wixos.
Yeah.
We have behind cameras, Daniel Guzman of the Modpots.
Yeah.
We have Jessica Bajal of Animales de Stereo and the Exotic Avocado podcast. So check them both out. Those are the handles. Those are the .coms. Those are the hashtags. So you can Google them. Yes.
No, let me share. You thought? No, I'll do it.
And then myself, I represent several factions in the East Los Angeles area, namely my own. I'm Quetzal with Quetzal Boutique. This is where we're hosting our show for the moment. And a shout out to everyone that's watching tonight who's giving us your support. If you want to be part of the team, latenightsinistlos@gmail.com. You can send us an email. We are looking for like social media specialists to come and be part of the team. And then what else do we need?
Somebody who can roll a really, really good line.
Yes, that would. I know Lily and Chavez would be down for that, but
But they live in
they
London.
would exclusively come just for
It's
that.
kind of far. Well,
It's like, yeah, it's
I was
not
gonna
far
say
from
about Jess, and I've actually told Jess this myself. Like I expressed this like man to man. I'm like, Jess, your podcast is hands down my favorite podcast that's recorded in House of Rhino. That's like new, like for sure. About punk rock and stuff.
Yeah, well, you know how it's linked up like these really cool scenes and networks within the East Los Angeles, and if you want to become part of this thing that it's happening, that it's growing right now, you know, it's latenightsinistlos.com right now. Just coming over every Tuesday night, send us an email. You're gonna be here. I don't need you to say, hey, I'm interested. You know, just show up and be like, I'm here to help. This is what I can offer for you guys. And you'll be welcome into our small family.
We'll find something for you to do, honestly.
And this is just to bring you this great content that we have.
Yeah.
All local people, all local art.
Yeah, you know, and if you're
photographer.
interested, you can also just go on your, your apps and whatever, go on Grindr, and you'll end up hooking up with somebody, and like you'll end up on the show.
It's happened before. It will happen again.
This is my second time on this show, so obviously I've been swiping to the right a lot. But we like to have a lot of fun here. I'm very honored to be here again. Thank you all for having me again.
It's hot.
Well, you
it's
look
been hot.
fantastic today.
Thank
Completely
you.
different from last time you were here.
Yes, you know, I've been trying to like modify my look a little bit more to like appeal to y'all. This is why my eyebrows are a little bit more orange, because I want you to know how
Fierce.
serious I am right
Hashtag.
now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm on my computer. I'm actually sharing this to the event page for the people that got invited.
You're working, even during
Yes,
episode. I love it.
Of course, you know.
You're so
because
honest,
This
Jesus
is
Christ.
all the DIY deal.
So it's been really warm lately, and it's been kind of humid. And you know what?
Exactly.
I'm kind of at the point now where I've just accepted it, and I'm kind of excited to enjoy it a little bit. Like a weird part of me, you know, like the part of you that likes like really hard spanking, you know, like I'm there, you know.
I'm appreciating the funk.
Yeah. So as the show goes
True.
on, and like the longer the fan is off, this is gonna start looking more and more like a '90s like music R&B music video, you know,
We
Like,
just gotta get really close to the camera.
really sweaty
Yeah.
and like.
I'm gonna start looking like, like the goosebump font where it starts oozing out. That's what my face is gonna look like with all this green and eyebrows, and it's gonna be a hot mess.
Yeah.
What are the biggest differences, Philip, between summer here in East LA and summer back in El Monte, where you're originally from?
The difference is that we're in a different time zone. So over there, it's probably like a millisecond difference. So we'll feel the heat probably we feel it around the same time. So it's pretty much hot all around here and there. The only difference is that over there, there's a lot more places where they actually let you have water cups. Where here, like when you go ask around, they don't give you water cups unless you buy something.
Are you serious? I didn't know
Yes,
that.
this is a factual
This is
thing.
new. This is-
I'm very dehydrated all the time.
When you go and visit Los Angeles.
No,
East LA.
I live here now.
Oh.
So I'm very dehydrated all the time, which is, I don't know, maybe that's why people call me thirsty.
Yeah.
But, I mean, in Almani, it's pretty much the same amount of heat. The only difference is you're more hydrated over there. Plus, we got a new gym, so there's a lot of trade. And here, I don't know, it's pretty much like the same shit, except that there's a lot more people here. So, like, a lot more bodies, a lot more heat, a lot more sweat, a lot more sexiness.
Yeah, things are a little more spread apart in Monte.
Mm.
They're really spread apart.
Whereas over here, like, all the houses are closer together and, like, smaller driveways,
No.
smaller streets.
Yeah, here the only thing spread apart are my legs, but other than that, like, everything's really close by, like, it's walking distance.
How you can follow Philip at Philip Hurt Instagram.
My handle on Instagram is Philip with 2 L's, because I'm greedy like that,
Get it.
_hurt. As in, like, pain, hurt.
Yeah. And if you don't know, Philip is an artist, spoken word artist, a poet, a writer.
An actor, a singer, and then
Yes.
occasionally I work on an airline, and I also work in fast food. I work with children development. I work at a vegan center. And also my part-time, I'm an astronaut.
And you're a host.
And I host.
Yeah.
Here,
This is actually her
I
show.
host here in East LA, also on Grindr, or wherever you'd like to find me. You can find me on any of my handles, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Grindr, Tinder, Growler, anything with R at the end, or Alberto's, Alfredo's,
Yeah.
all of those good ones.
Is there an Alfredo's in East LA?
Yes, it's actually
Yes.
Montebello.
Oh.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was like,
Borderline
bitch, where?
Borderline Montebello of Garfield.
Oh, that's by Chico's, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell no.
No, I stay away from there.
Why?
Are you banned? Or are you like?
No, I'm not banned. Well, not
You're just
technically,
not, like,
because they don't remember me.
What
But I've just been through a lot there.
happened?
Oh my god, there was this one time, it was horrible. I got super drunk. I ended up falling in the freaking parking lot. They thought I was gonna sue them, so they gave me more drinks, which I'm just like, that's logical.
Yeah.
So then they gave me more drinks, and then, no, it turned out I think the owner wanted to, like, mess around. But I'm not sure if he was the owner, because a lot of people just tell me they're the owners of places, and I'm just kind of, like, rolling with it.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, fuck, what were we talking about?
Chico's. Oh my god. That's all I'm done. Go ahead.
Sorry, you guys, I would share with you what I'm drinking here, but I according to, like, legal law, I can't exactly tell you what it is, so I'm just gonna give you a hint. It's something that rhymes with hickey. Hickeys.
I don't even know what to ask right now.
Let's focus on Gabby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gabby. Hi.
Hey.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you.
Yeah,
I've
sorry.
actually been I've been checking out your work like for a
Yes.
while now, and I remember seeing it even like months ago, before we ever booked you like for sure to come on the show.
Oh,
Where's
thank
your
you.
work?
You know, it's up there behind Bill.
It's okay. After the break, maybe we can grab it during the break. But we'll show it to everybody. But how did you get into photography? How long have you been shooting?
Yeah, you know, I got into photography mainly because I was about maybe like 5 or 6, and like my parents like weirdos, and I just remember being really young, and they turned the garage into like a studio, like, but like I mean back in the day it was still film, so I was like, so my mom had to go to like, you know, the community college and like learn film, and she was like a business major, you know, she got like masters and shit, but like at the same time she like spent so much time at school she had to take me. And so I spent so much time in dark rooms and stuff. I think it just kind of like
Seeped into you.
and when I was an adult, I started taking like summer courses at that same college, but not remembering anything or like the places in general. But I just kind of like found my niche in like analog. So that kind of, you know, and then my parents transitioned into digital, and so I found that it was, you know, it's really easy to connect with people, and analog was so hard to do, and also not having the resources, like that was the only school with the printing services, and like it's free, so I just took full advantage. And then a lot of the stuff I brought today is like probably the first ever prints I ever made.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so they're just like silver.
What is it about analog the challenge in capturing.
Oh,
the,
you know, well, so like my parents, like they had the business, right? And we shot like weddings, right? And quinceañeras. And so it was like, so right after we would shoot things, it would be like the middle of the freaking event, and it would be like, we'd have to go drop off a film at like a long store, or like, instead of sending it out, and like develop it just so that we wouldn't lose track of all the film we were using, because it'd be such a busy event, you know? And I just remember like putting the film inside of like little packages and like being like, wow, this is so much film, this is really expensive, you know? And when we go picking them up, you know, you would see the machines, and it was like, you know, a maze and like a game, and you would see all these prints come out, and like, you know, I was interested in seeing if it was like ink or, you know, if it was, you know, something else. So I decided to study it further in college, and because my high school didn't have it, so I was really mad, and so I just had to go to college to do it, and I found out that, you know, it's all scientific, and that's why I do analog, because it's like not ink, it's not, you know, color, it's not anything, it's like anything that, it's just light and exposure. And so basically the black and white darkroom, the first time I ever did it, it was just like I was able to make prints without having anybody tell me how to make them, and so I made these really cool borders, stuff like that. And so all of that, it's just fascinating to be able to take something and use chemistry and create, you know, a photograph, a print that has nothing to do with painting it or anything. And I'm not really good at those kind of mediums. You know, I've tried paint. My mom used to buy me like paint sets, and I would look at her like, what is, por qué? You know, I was like, I don't paint. And she's like, no, but I got it at Costco. And I'm like, no, like, and I just have it in my closet. And like, my school had all these painting classes, and it's just like, so yeah, these are photos of like where I went to high school and where I went to college in Santa Maria. And that's just the construction site. And so these are all like silver prints that I made in darkroom.
What are these pieces titled?
You know, excuse me. They are titled lots of different things. I've named them several things, but I think the majority, the purpose of me naming them is that they're all numbered. And so I think this one's number 1 or 2. And I called it Lost in Perception, just because I had that was when I was like 17, so I just read the like Doors Perception, is like, you know, getting into the doors and like everything, and I was just like, oh, that's exactly what that is to me right now,
right,
you
right.
know. But now I look at it, and I look at it as like the past being such a creepy little town, and like, you know, we're all Hispanics and Filipinos, and like segregated, you know, San Francisco, College Town, Santa Barbara, and it's like right in the middle. And so I thought this depicted very well, like, just the lands, you know, the missions, and like I went to like El Camino Real Junior High, and so I went to Santa Maria High, and so it's just, again, we were talking about, like, before we started, you know, we were talking about indigenous, and I was like, I want to bring that up, because it's like a lot of times, even then, the darker you were, where I was, it was like you were different, you know, you were always different, and it was really awesome, and we were able to embrace it because we were all from immigrants, you know, directly, and so we all understood each other, but certain areas didn't. And so I feel like my photography, you know, like this one, I'd like to use my composition to single things out, like this door. This door was like, it's part of like kind of my college, but it's across the street, and so I feel like it depicts this like sadness, but if you look around, there's really like garages with like really nice cars, and like oldie cars, and like.
And the name is Lost in Perception, and I think it's perfect because if you had that label here and I didn't know anything about you and I saw it on the gallery, I was the meaning would be so very personalized to anybody that approached it, you know, because it has, to me, means there's a door and just walk to it and open it, you know. But that's my perception of it.
I like that.
Yeah. So
That's how I feel about it personally.
I love it.
So this is the result of the photography, is basically like exposing of light. Oh, that's cool, because like it really captures the darkness really well.
Yeah, and it's kind of like the easier of the alternate process. So it's like very figured out. You get 35 millimeter negative. you
So
know.
everything you do, it's in black and white.
I would say it's my forte. I do color, but like color is so hard. I did in college and stuff, but color is so much more rewarding. It's like having a baby. Like I actually got a B in my color class, and like my teacher looked at me like we just had a child. Like I was like, oh my god, like you're. She was like a teacher from Cal Arts too. She like
Wow.
graduated from Cal Arts, and I was like, God, this is gonna be so hard. And there's a lot of math in it because you're using cyan, magenta, and yellow. And so you're just using those and subtracting the light that goes through the filter of that color. And so what you're doing is you're allowing light to transform itself. But with black and white, and when you print color, you do it in a complete dark space. So you go into a private room and you print, you expose it, and then you put it into a machine because the chemicals you use for that is really dangerous. And so you don't even dip it or anything. You just put it in a machine, and then you test the color with filters, and then you go back. And then you subtract color. And so it's just cyan, magenta, yellow, right? But with black and white, it's more about you're in a dark room with a bunch of people, there's chemicals everywhere, you're smelling everything, but it's more about there's that red light, the safe light. It's more about how much light you're letting through and all the filters you get to use.
Sounds like it gives you a thrill. Yeah.
It's really, I think it's more of a high of all the chemicals, you know? And so I was like, I used to be kind of straight edge, so I was like, oh my god. And I met my ex-boyfriend for like 6 or 7 years. We did this for like longest time, just like in the dark room.
Ooh.
Yeah, but no, just to like, no, I mean, there's tons of people in there. Like, you're like, that's the like
That's never
hazard.
stopped me.
I can't stand being around like a whole crowd of people sometimes, like most of the time. But the good thing was that if anybody messed with each other, like it was on. Because like you're just like working, you're messing with all this chemistry, and you have to share it, there's all this. And so that's one of the things about analog that why I do it, to answer the question, because it's gonna be obsolete someday unless PCC has invested so much. They have a brand new state-of-the-art section of their music building that's just dedicated to analog photography and digital and studio.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, I would always recommend going to PCC for photography because it's inexpensive and they have the best if you're into doing like the full experience. You want to do analog, you want to do alternate processes. Like I did litho, I did enlargements of my negatives so that I could print them and make them just like on a pillow or something. Yeah, it's just stuff this is all stuff that you basically, I guess they had to figure out before you could actually get a negative 35. And so when you have a 35, they shorten that from Super A, which is originally Super. So Super A, and then, yeah. So all these,
I don't talk.
Well, I thought,
that
we're
kind of
talking film,
language.
like movies.
Yeah, no. I know like an 8mm. Yeah. But that's it. That's the extent of my knowledge.
So, the whole concept of film is taking from Super A and Super, millimeter. And so, I feel like it was really hard for people to come up with this concept. And why not continue exploring it? I feel like people, not people, but we all try to search for some sort of answer. And I feel like sometimes photography has that answer because it's like so hard to do.
I was gonna say I don't think it's gonna go extinct. Anyways, I see more of a
Analog.
renaissance. Yeah.
People
I
gotta
see a
keep it alive.
renaissance.
You
Yeah,
have
they
to-
will, of course. It's
you-
gonna become a form. It's a form of art.
But it's expensive. I mean, that's one of the things that there's more technology every day that allows you to carry it on and make it so that it's at home. But like honestly, like I can't do it in my bathroom because I don't have a big enough apartment so that the rest of my apartment won't smell like the chemicals. And so like, being in a basement is cool, but it's just like how many basements are there? Ask yourself that.
If
How
you are
many
a
basements are
photographer,
Oh, shit, that scared me a little bit.
I'll leave you with that.
I really appreciate you talking about it though, because like when I hear about photography, all I hear is like, oh, you just gotta have the eye and this, and I'm like, no, bitch, it sounds like it's a lot of work. Like after what I just heard right now, I'm just like, well, that's a lot of science. Like I know why there's classes in college about it now. Like
I consider it like cheating science. Like I really like science, but teachers were like weird, and like at my school they were like, kind of like unrelatable. because they weren't POCs. So
Right.
we would all come in being like, dude, you don't understand. Like, my parents made me help them work, like, all week. Like, I'm really tired. And, like, they just wouldn't understand. You know, so I feel like I stopped taking, like, I didn't want to take chemistry. Like, I was like, nah, if I can get out of it. Like,
Were they like, what's more important, working or school?
I
Did they
feel,
put- no.
it's a tough one.
That is.
It's a really tough one. Because I like working. I feel like working teaches you a lot about things of why you want to go to school. So if you go to school, then you want to go out, you want to work. But it's just different incentives, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because then if you go out and work, like, sometimes you don't go get tattoos and stuff.
Right.
But if you go to school, you have this freedom. You start to, like, cut your hair. Well, it depends what college you go to, but, and what you're studying. But, you know, like, I started getting tattoos going to college, and I started realizing it was a mistake, but then I couldn't stop. You know, it was like, why stop?
Right.
And now I just look for different ways to express my photography. So I really appreciate you guys having me here and having this segment here in Middle East LA. It's really awesome because I really like to express my true heritage. Like this one right here, this is in Silver Lake, right? And so this is Silver Lake in London and like Silver Lake Boulevard. And I found that after Halloween. And I was like walking to the Marqueta, and I bet you the Marqueta isn't even there anymore.
Nope.
Because I used to live there, and it was like I used to live like in these apartments, and like at the time I could just pay my thing cash, and like she was Hispanic, and we spoke the same language, and all my roommates like were happy with it, and she didn't really care what kind of Hispanic I was. But then after that, I got kind of in trouble with some kind of like conflict. But like before that, it was like the chillest place, and this is in Silver Lake, and I was just like. The next time I find out a few years later that a homie is living there and it's renovated and it's 3 times the price. And I was like, wow, you have a fridge? Like, you have a stove? You know, he's like, yeah, it came with the apartment. Wow. Like, and, so when I took this photo, I was living there and I already felt like it was getting gentrified as hell. But when I look at this, I like to think of it more as the composition, and I like to think that wig belonged to, like, a very fabulous person. And it was Halloween, and they did such a fabulous job. Because it's such a, like, I feel like it's such a, like, costume. Regular, like, I think of,
I'm like, no,
Pulp
that was
Fiction.
me on November 1st. I accidentally dropped it.
That's
Give
what-
it back.
That was a clue.
Where is your work going to be displayed anywhere soon?
I just did a thing in New York, called, Shape. Oh no, that was for their online. Sorry, this one is, their first, actual exhibition is called, Space. And Shape is they do a lot of online exhibitions, and they'll use singular, forms of themes. But it's like, this one they decided to print, and it was like one of the 2 that I got to do, and so I'm really excited about it. It's at Littlefield, and I think it's going to be down in a couple days, but it's there for a month, and it was a bunch of photographers from all over. I think it was just the United States, and it was just about space and all these photos. Like, it's all about composition. So I was going to send this one in, but I sent one of Oakland because I was there right after we had, in the media, there was all these shootings and stuff all over the United States, and it was Black Lives Matter. And, like, in Oakland, we had just a bunch of things throughout these few years. And it's just like, and my homies live in Oakland I grew up in Santa Maria with. And so I went there, I took these photos of these footsteps. And they're just like this paint, and it kind of reminded me of like Looney Tunes or something. And I was like, oh, that's so weird. This is Oakland. There's nothing like that here. Like, it's not very, or the Bay. Like, there's nothing nice here. It's very like its own thing. And so when I saw that, I felt a sense of innocence. And so when they said space, I just felt like the angle I took that photo of was just described how Oakland felt. Where there wasn't space. Like, you're in the center, and then you walk around, and then you're like, whatever. Like, I can't deal with this. It's, like, so crazy. You go to San Francisco, it's the same thing. It's just madness. But over here, I feel like, we got a better grasp of, I don't know, embracing the madness. I feel like over there, it's crazy. Like, you get stabbed, you get robbed. Like, over here, we're like, yeah, we know where not to go. But over there, I feel like, on the BART, you don't know what you're doing. I feel like I'm going through back in time or something.
Yeah.
I took my little brother for the first time last year to the Bay, and he was like, Gabby, why is everybody, I'm like, dressed like they're in the 70s? I told you. And he was like, I just want to go into the cookies clinic and I just want to get my thing. I was like, I'll watch your back. He was like, and there's like the Yellow Submarine store, and I was like, yep.
Interesting. I haven't been to San Francisco in many
So
years.
long.
Yeah.
I've been going more than ever lately. It's just because I have the homies there. In Oakland.
You know, we're having such a great chat right now that we're thinking we're going to take a break and then we're going to come back, and so that way we can continue chatting with Philip and we can get some water because it's hella hot
It's hot.
here.
It's good. It's hot in
We're
here.
going to take about 5-minute break. That way you also can go and grab a nice cold beverage. And hopefully you can swing by Quetzal and bring us a 6-pack of whatever you get. We would
Preferably
surely
something that rhymes with hickeys.
in brown bags.
In brown bags. And somebody please bring me some black eyeshadow so I can fill in my brows because like they're gonna melt. I'm not crying right now. It's just me sweating.
It's a good
Thanks
time.
for watching LateNightsInIslos.com. Subscribe YouTube channel Late Nights in Islos
Please subscribe.
on every Tuesday night, 9
1,000
p.m. Pacific
subscribers.
Standard Time. We'll be right back.